You know how this channel's all about positivity and optimism, isn't it? Positivity, optimism, positive weather, positive thoughts, positive landscape, positive interactions with your fellow man, positive interactions with the world around you. It's all about positivity and optimism, man. And there's nothing wrong with that. What's wrong with being a bit of positivity all the time? There's enough negativity, isn't there? Let's be positive. Let's be positive, man. Don't hit me with them negative waves. I'm a positive guy for the most part. I'm actually brimming over. I'm a glass completely full type of guy. And that's why I started this YouTube channel, because when you're full of positivity and optimism, it needs somewhere to go. It needs an outlet, because who knows what happens when your body fills up with positivity and it begins to ooze out of all your orifices. Where does it go? 100% positivity. But I don't want it to be 110% positivity, because that might make me explode. Now, I'm not daft. I know that life can't be 100% positive and full of optimism, because I believe that life, if it's left to its own devices, would try to be 100% negative, because that's how life works. When we get bad news, and we get bad news all the time through the media, through social media, through newspapers, through news channels, through legacy media, I couldn't remember the word then, through legacy media, we get bad news. There never seems to be any good news. And I think the reason we get so much bad news is that we thrive on bad news. It gives us an emotion, doesn't it? It gets the adrenaline running, the noradrenaline, the cortisol. It's a drug. Bad news is a drug, and that's why so many of us, when we look at the newspaper, we want to see bad news, even if we don't believe it. That's why we used to have the television programmes, the news programmes here in the UK. And it'd be all bad news, because that's all there seemed to be, bad news. Then the end article always used to be something positive, like the firemen rescuing Mrs. Bloggs' cat from up a tree, or something like that, just to end on a high note. It was as if they were saying to you, I know it's all rubbish, I know it's all crap, but here's a little bit of good news to take away with you, so that you don't get too desperate and too down. But we want. The human thrives on bad news, because it gives us those emotions: anger, disquiet. We want to get angry at somebody. It forms our opinions. Our opinions are formed by news coming through, and it's all bad. We get kind of programmed to it, don't we? When we go to see a motor race, something like that, I think at the back of the mind, many of us actually want to see a crash. We want to see the drama. We don't particularly want to see anyone hurt, but we want the drama. We want to see the crash. We get more out of the crash than we do seeing somebody standing on a podium with a bottle of champagne. We want to see that. Whenever we watch a rugby match or a football match or any kind of match, and a combat sport, and somebody gets hit in the boxing ring and they go down and they lie there, we don't go, oh dear, that's how. Go, oh, did you see that? Oh, he's still lying down. Is he going to get up? Is he going to get up? And we're getting all excited. The adrenaline, the noradrenaline, the cortisol all surging through our systems, saying this is actually what we want. The bad news is what we want. Nigel, you be as positive as you want to be on a day-to-day basis. But just like anybody else, good news and positivity and optimism keeps me calm, keeps my emotions level, keeps me in the chill. But a bit of bad news, a bit of excitement, seeing a car crash, seeing an aeroplane go over and it misfires, which I once saw years ago, a plane and it crashed in a small airport very close to me, and I saw it going over and I could hear it misfiring, and I knew there was something wrong with it. Somebody broke the leg. Nobody was killed, somebody broke the leg, so that was good, because I got the thrill out of the anticipation. Oh, what's going to happen here? I wouldn't have got as much of a thrill if I'd known there'd been a fatality. We don't want that. We want the anticipation, the bad news. This is going to happen. And we don't want it to happen. We want the cavalry to arrive at the 11th hour. But we all get a buzz. The adrenaline, the noradrenaline, the cortisol, all surging through our systems. Oh, look at him. Look at him. I saw rubbernecking. That's what it's all about, isn't it? We go down the motorway in our cars and then there's an accident on the other side of the other carriageway and the traffic slows down. And the traffic slows down for no other reason than everybody's having a look because it's bad news. But it's not bad news for you. It's bad news for somebody else. Not only somebody else, but somebody you don't know, somebody you will never know, and somebody you probably will never know the outcome, because if the outcome is bad, then you probably won't feel as good about rubbernecking. But you don't know. So that's all right. Because if you don't know, then it's never happened, has it? And this is what it is. We all, oh, look at that bad news. And it's not just events. Otherwise, we'd stop and slow down for good things, but we don't, do we? We stop and we slow down for drama, for danger, for somebody else's misfortune. Does this make us bad people? Of course not. Because it produces drugs, it produces an effect, it produces excitement, a thrill in our systems. And it's natural. It's what happens. They're kind of the drugs that fight or flight. It's quite natural. It's a reaction, a bodily reaction. Nobody can do anything about it. And people will say, oh, I don't feel like that. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. There will be occasions when you do, but there are different levels. Some people absolutely revel in it. Oh, look at him over there. He might have croaked. Oh. And there are other people who kind of, oh, did you see that? Did you see that little old lady fall over then? Oh, I hope she's all right. Mm-hmm. Anger, curiosity. Aren't those bad emotions? Well, they are in a way, but it's all primal, isn't it? It's all primal. These are emotions that go back to when man was fighting for his life against the lions and the bears and the animals that roam the landscape. So it might be a bad emotion, but it's a primal emotion. Doesn't it give you a wonderful feeling of righteous indignation when you can say, look at him, what's he just done? Ah, did you see him? I would never do that because I'm the better person. He crashed his car. Why does he crash his car? He crashed his car because he's not a good driver and I'm a good driver, not like him. And it gives me a rush to feel in my righteous indignation that I am the better person. So, although I promote a peaceful lifestyle, a lifestyle in nature, appreciating what's around you, a calm, be kind to everyone else kind of lifestyle, chill, just being out without pressure, keeping stress out of your life, even though I promote all that on this channel, I react to bad news just like everyone else. I get angry at injustice, I get angry at animal abuse, I get angry at our politicians gaslighting us all the time because it gives me the impression that they think we're stupid and they can lie to us and gaslight us and think we're going to swallow it, and we don't, because for the most part, most of us are far more intelligent. In fact, most of us are far saner than any of the politicians that deem to govern over us. We all get angry, even the slow living girls on YouTube who I haven't mentioned for a while, running through those fields with their hair flowing in the Laura Ashley dresses whilst mixing cinnamon buns. They get angry too, and you can tell they get angry because they choose woody scented candles rather than floral scented candles, and that is a sure giveaway. To claim that you are eternally happy, or indeed to convince yourself that you are eternally happy, is actually a false narrative, and you're doing yourself no favours at all, because none of us can be eternally happy. We can reach a medium, we can set a bar, we can hit that level, that standard, but we cannot be eternally happy. We cannot be happy all the time. We cannot be happy in nature, in our relationships. We cannot, no matter how much money, how much wealth we have, how much wealth in the things we love like I have in nature. You can't be eternally happy. That is just destructive. That is insanity. And you need locking up if that's what you believe. Because we can't be, because we're living in life. We're living in a bubble. We're living in a narrative. We're living in an agenda set by other people, bombarding us with bad news. So it's a case of going through that bad news. Yes, it will get you angry, it will get you mad, it will get the adrenaline, the noradrenaline, the cortisol flowing. Of course it will, but the trick is to rationalize it. The trick is to be able to look through it and not for that anger to bubble up inside you. We all know that feeling when you can feel the blood rushing through your head and you're angry and you're clenching your fist and grinding your teeth. They've got to you. They've won. And you mustn't let that happen. You should be able to take it in, rationalise it. You're intelligent enough to disseminate it and take the lies from the truth and the narrative from the truth, and be able to say, right, okay, I understand what you're saying, but I don't think it's that way because this is what I think. And you can then calm down. I come out here every day to wax lyrical about how happy I am, and I am because I know I'm not. For to tell yourself that you are all the time is to sell yourself a falsehood, a myth. We can't be. We can't be. But if you've hit that bar that you've set yourself, then you can say, I'm happy. Because that way you've protected yourself against the bad news. The bad news that can turn people into lunatics and murderers and bombers. Ideologies that can destroy families and destroy nations. If you can just set your own bar, live within that, try to ignore other people's opinions, by all means listen to them and form your own opinions, research them and form your own opinions off facts rather than other people's opinions, you can be happy because you're not happy. You can be happy because happy is a state of mind that relies on other things coming in from everywhere else and messing it up. You are actually, I'm happy despite. And I think that's the best way to put it. I'm happy despite all the crap that's coming in. I'm happy even though. You can't say I'm happy just because I'm happy and that's how it is. I'm happy despite. And that's good and that's virtuous because that means despite. That means that you have listened and you've been subject to all the bad opinions, all the bad news, and you've been able to go through that without all that taking over your head and turning you into a bomber or a murderer or a gunman or anything insane. You've gone through that and be able to say, yes, okay, but I'm still happy, but I'm still at peace with myself. And I think that's a great place to be, isn't it? Life is so complicated that we need to kind of pare everything down to make it as simple as possible. We've got to make life as simple as possible because there are too many people and bodies and governments out there and in the ether and all around us that are just trying to fill our head up with jolly robins and control us and make us think this way and think that way. And there is nothing better in life. There's nothing more virtuous in life. There's nothing greater in life than the independent thinker. So be that independent thinker. Listen to all the crap on the news that's coming through. Of course you can. You can't ignore it. You will get angry. You will have those chemicals flowing through your body. You're just like everybody else. You do get that rush whenever you see something bad happening or you see something on the news. You go, oh my goodness. But at least it didn't happen to me. And I don't know the people it happened to. So tomorrow when I get up, I probably forgot about it. We're all doing that. Everybody does that because we're all guilty of that. Nobody said we were infallible. Nobody said that, did they? We're all just fallible creatures subject to influence coming from all over the place. But if you can just take all that in and say, okay, right, I get you. I get where you're coming from. I don't agree with you and you make me angry, but I'm putting that aside and I'm getting on with my day. Because we've got nice things to do, nice people to meet, and that's what I'm going to do. Embrace the negatives, but always be the person you are. Always be true to yourself. Have you seen lots of celebrities out there? They come across, they look happy. But all they're doing is protecting their brand. How many of them are completely genuine because they've too much at stake? Society has given them too much at stake. They've been put in a position, they've been put on a pedestal that they have to be someone else. They have to be someone else. And how many times do you hear of tragedies, of celebrities? Because of the pressure. And the pressure is put on them by society, by expectations, by the fans, by the media, by everybody, flashing the flashlights in the faces, the cameramen, the media, the paparazzi, and it's put them all under pressure. And for the most part, they're fairly simple people. They're just Joe Soap in the street who's made it big and is not capable to combat this amount of pressure, of attention, of expectations. So they buckle, and you hear so many tragic tales. It's because of bad news. Media, the media's got to them. Oh, you must look like this, you must weigh this, you must look like this, you must have these views, you must have these opinions. So you're living a completely fabricated life, aren't you? There is nothing left. There is probably very little left of the original person who ran about in a skirt or in short pants when they were a kid, having the time of their life and just being normal. There's nothing left. There's nothing left. So they live probably their whole adult life living a false life. Until at some point the pressure, the drugs, the drink, the money, all gets too much for them. And it's very tragic, and it's all caused by the news, by people who run the media, by people who run expectations, by politicians who gaslight you, by the media who throw images in your face every day. Look at this car crash, look at this plane crash, look at this riot, look at this dead body in the street, look at this bad news. Where's the good news? Oh, there's no good news. No, there's no good news, because good news doesn't sell media, doesn't sell newspapers. Good media is for Instagram and TikTok. Good news isn't for serious people. So accept that life isn't all cornflowers and vanilla pods. And if you can do that, then you can rationalise the bad and concentrate on the good. We're out here today. It's quite warm, it's early on. I'm going to my daughter's once I've been here. Molly is happy enough. Molly wasn't very well for the last couple of days, but now she's back to normal. So that is a great amount of stress off my shoulders, and we're here. And it's beautiful. The landscape is green, the landscape's quiet, it's not moving, it's warm. There's just a slight rustling of the trees. People are in a good mood, everyone is saying hello. And that makes me feel good. And that makes me feel happy, and it makes me feel kind of safe, as if I'm in some kind of a bubble where the rest of the world doesn't matter, the rest of the world is shut away, the rest of the world isn't actually happening. But of course the rest of the world is, and I'm getting bombarded with news all the time, and I know, and I get angry. I come on here and tell everybody I'm at peace, and I am, but I am at peace despite. I'm at peace because of this. If we can just accept that life isn't always a bed of roses, and accept the bad and don't get too alarmed when the bad comes into our life, because it's transient, it's passing, and you can come back to this. And on that note, we shall see you on the flip. Peace and love.